My beloved child, there are confrontations in your life that did not arise because of any fault of your own, but because of the light that radiates from within your soul. A light that does not clamor for attention, that is neither boastful nor loud, yet shines with a strength that unsettles the darkness. You did not harm them. You did nothing to deserve their coldness, their hostility, or their distant demeanor, but it is your very presence, a bearer of my mark, one who refuses to bow to compromise, that stirs unrest in the hidden places of their hearts. When they look at you, they don't just see a person. They see reflections of what they once longed to become, but gave up on. They see dreams they once nurtured, but buried. They see the image of authenticity they once fled from, and so, without meaning to, you become a mirror to the things they are unwilling to face, the doors they closed to me, the callings they ignored, the spiritual invitations they forfeited. You are not to blame when the light within you causes others to squint. Do not let the rejection of men extinguish the flame I have kindled in your heart. Do not allow their reactions to make you question what I am doing in you, because, my child, when the light arises, darkness does not remain passive. When holiness is present, it provokes discomfort and falsehood and pretense. And when you walk in my presence, you will stir souls who are not yet ready to confront truth. They may never say it aloud. They may never admit that the reason they are disturbed is because you carry something they once rejected. But I know, and I want you to know, so that you will not be confused, so that your heart will not be wounded, so that you will not blame yourself for the chill in someone else's soul. I want you to understand this. Some attacks come not because you are weak, but because you are far stronger than they expected. Some rejections come not because you are wrong, but because you are standing exactly where I placed you. And some people cannot remain close to you not because you lack love, but because they are not yet ready to face real love. A love that does not negotiate with darkness, a love that exposes what still needs healing. You cannot change them. You cannot force them to love you the way you long to be loved. But you can choose to keep living, to walk in truth, to keep your heart tender, and not let the pain harden your spirit. I see your tears, those moments when you ask, why are they distant with me? Why do they pull away when I've never done them harm? I see your desire to run to them, to explain, to mend, to be accepted. But, my child, some things do not require an explanation. Some people cannot understand you until they are willing to let me heal their own wounds. And you cannot do that for them. I have not called you to be the savior of those who reject my hand of redemption. I have called you to be a carrier of light, not a blinding light to seek glory, but a steady, unwavering light that gently compels others to examine their hearts. You may not see the purpose in it now. You may only feel the sting of rejection, the coldness of silence, the ache of avoidance. But I am using even that to shape your heart, to teach you that true love is not dependent on recognition, but stands firm even when unseen, to train you to forgive, not when others apologize, but even while they still misunderstand you, to show you how to keep walking, not when you're surrounded, but when you must go alone in obedience. I am making you more like me through the very things others fail to notice. I am using rejection to draw you deeper into my embrace, where you are fully accepted, completely known and profoundly loved, without needing to prove a single thing. And one day, perhaps not soon, but it will certainly come, those who once felt uneasy because of you will look back and recognize what I have done through your life. Not so they would praise you, but so they would return to me. Not so your name would be lifted high, but so my name would be glorified. For you were not created to please the world, but to bring glory to me in a darkened generation. You were anointed not to blend in, but to stand out in your distinctiveness. You were chosen not for comfort, but to enter places others dare not go, carrying light, carrying truth, carrying a love that does not yield. So, my beloved, don't be disheartened. Do not measure your worth by the way others treat you. They do not know the story you are living. They do not understand the road you're walking, and they have no idea how much courage you muster each day to keep believing, to keep loving, to keep living with integrity. But I do. I see it all, and I am proud of you, not because you are accepted by the crowd, but because you have remained faithful even when no one was watching. That is what makes you precious in my eyes. That is what causes heaven to smile, and that is what will ensure you never walk in regret, even if you must walk alone for a time. My beloved, perhaps you never imagined that the very things causing you pain would become the tools I use to refine your soul. But truly, I am training you, not as one trains a common warrior of this world, but as one who belongs to the kingdom of heaven. One whose heart is not hardened by pain, yet not easily shattered by words that pierce. I am not teaching you to strike back with bitterness, nor to seek revenge with cold indifference. I am shaping you to stand firm in silence, to love in quiet strength, to remain upright even when misjudged, and to walk in the light even among those who try to extinguish your flame. You are not battling with swords and spears, but with the invisible forces that the eye cannot perceive. Battles fought in the mind, in your motives, in the reactions you choose each time you are wounded. And it is in that very place where the real war rages. I am teaching your hands not only to fight, but to lift others up. Your fingers are not only being trained to grasp the sword of the Spirit, but to wipe away the tears of the broken. Your heart is being forged not only to endure silent attacks, but to beat in rhythm with a love that never fails. You are learning to suffer not with bitterness, but with powerful meekness. A meekness that is not weakness, but the fierce strength of self-control, refusing to let anything pull you off the path I have set for you. Those who seem to be causing you pain are, in fact, playing a role in forming the deep spiritual nature I am building in you. They are the raw material of the refining process I have allowed, not to harm you, but to shape someone who can uphold truth when others abandon it. Remember, in the scriptures, those I used in extraordinary ways all endured severe refining. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, but in the prison he learned leadership, forgiveness, and how to wait for the right time. David was not trained in a palace, but among sheep and in caves, where he learned to trust me while his life was under threat. Esther was not born into glory, but hidden away until in a moment of destiny, she rose up to speak for her people. And you too. You are being trained in the dark, so that when the light comes, you will not be overwhelmed. You are being refined in silence, so that when the call goes out, you can step forward without hesitation. Every wound you endure, if you place it in my hands, will become a mark of courage. Every criticism you choose not to repay with hatred will become part of the divine armor you will wear on the day of battle. I know there are moments when you feel like giving up, times when your heart grows weary from loving without being understood, moments when you feel alone on the very path I have chosen for you. But my child, do not forget that it is in the silence that I speak. It is in solitude that I reach into the deepest places of your soul. And it is through your tears that I am shaping a wellspring that will one day bring life to others. Munatashi sib, semura, presine, pre, tame. Tame, not a single drop of sweat, not one stumble, not a single act of restraint is wasted. I am using it all, every small hardship you endure, to build an unshakable temple where you will become a living testimony to a love that never gives up and a truth that never changes. That person, the one who caused you pain, they have no idea they are being used as an instrument in my hands. They do not understand that their discomfort is only amplifying the contrast I have placed within you. They do not realize that every time they reject you, you are being drawn closer to my full acceptance. But the time will come when they will see, not because you shout it out, but because the fruit in your life will speak for itself. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to keep growing. Let me lead you. Let me correct you. Let me shape you. And when you are molded according to the divine design, those who once mocked will be silenced. Not because you've defeated them, but because the light in you will be too real to deny. You may not see clearly all that I am doing, but trust that every step you take is being woven into a much greater tapestry. One day, you will look back and see it all had purpose. The battles you thought would break you were the very places where I armed you with powerful weapons. The pain you thought you couldn't endure became the place where you drew strength from a source that never runs dry, and the people who seemed to be standing in your way were actually stepping stones that lifted you higher, closer to the glory I had already prepared. So be strong, my beloved. Keep walking. Keep loving. Keep your heart pure, not because others deserve it, but because you have been taught by me. And your obedience is the loudest testimony of the power I am releasing through your life. This battle is not just about you, it is about the souls that will be rescued through the light you carry. And for that reason, you cannot quit, because if you fall, there will be many who may never find the truth. Therefore, my child, do not let your heart be burdened with resentment or bitterness toward those who have hurt you. Do not let the wounds they inflicted become a wall that blocks the flow of mercy I long to pour out through you. For even those people, though you may not see it, are also on a journey of being gently touched, refined, and molded by me in ways only I fully understand. No one is ever forgotten in my hands. No soul is beyond the reach of my mercy. They may be acting out of ignorance. They may be so wounded they no longer know how to love in a healthy way, but still, they are unfinished works of grace, and I am patiently building them up, brick by brick, healing every crack. They hurt you not because they are stronger, nor because you are weak, but because their own wounds have not yet been healed. The hurting often hurt others, not to be cruel, but because they know no other way to survive. And I, in wisdom far beyond human understanding, saw this from the beginning. I knew that the collision between you and them would stir up hidden things, not only within them, but within you too, not to destroy, but to heal, that I might go deeper, that I might enter the locked chambers of their hearts. And when you choose to forgive, you open a door for grace to flow, not just into your life, but into theirs as well. Forgiveness is not surrender. It is the proof of victory, the triumph of love over emotion, the triumph of spiritual maturity. You don't need to understand every reason behind their reactions. You don't need to analyze every behavior, every word they've spoken in search of an explanation for the wounds you've carried. Doing so would only exhaust you further. What you need is to place everything in my hands and choose to walk in trust. I know their hearts better than anyone else ever could. I see the fears they try to hide, the memories that make them tremble in the dark, the times they tried but stumbled, and I love them no less than I love you. That is the truth I want you to hold close. That even though they may have brought you to tears, I am still pursuing their souls with the same love I have covered you in. And when you allow that love to flow through you, instead of building a wall, you are partnering with me in a work far greater than momentary emotion, the work of redemption. Remember, you are not their judge. You are not called to condemn or to seek justice with your own hands. True justice flows from me, and I always know how to carry out what is right at the appointed time. But you are called to live as one who has been forgiven, and because of that, you can forgive. Forgiveness does not mean denying the pain. Forgiveness means facing the pain with honesty, but refusing to let it take possession of you. Forgiveness is seeing the wound, but choosing not to become someone you were never meant to be. Forgiveness says, I will not carry this chain anymore. I will not let someone else's actions shape my future. And when you forgive, not only do you walk into freedom, you make room for me to begin healing the other person more fully. You may never know what doors your prayers for them will unlock in the unseen realm. You may never measure how your quiet act of forgiveness becomes the seed of deep transformation in their spirit. But I know. I see. And I will not let a single act of kindness go to waste. A single drop of true love can melt the ice around a heart that's been frozen for years. A flicker of long-suffering light can illuminate a place that's never known light before. And if you keep loving, keep enduring, even if others do not change right away, you are still planting seeds of the kingdom. And in due season, I will cause those seeds to take root, to blossom, and to bear fruit. You may think it's too hard, and I understand. Forgiveness can sometimes feel like a wound being reopened before it's fully healed, just so it can be cleansed more deeply. But I will not leave you in the middle of that process. I am right beside you, wiping your tears, upholding you every time you feel like giving up, and reminding you this: you are not forgiving alone. I am in you, loving through you, forgiving through you, healing through you, and one day you'll look back and not only see that you made it through, but also realize that you became a part of the miracle of change I worked in someone else's life. Someone you once thought was the source of your pain, but who in the end became the vessel through which a divine miracle was revealed. That person is now living in an unnamed restlessness, not because you did anything wrong, not because you lacked anything, but because your very presence has stirred within them something they had tried to bury for far too long. They are not merely looking at you with their physical eyes. They are watching you with the eyes of the soul, eyes clouded by jealousy, by hurt, and by longings that have never been properly named. There is an emptiness within their hearts, a hollow space invisible to others, yet echoing with silent cries. They are yearning for something far greater than your presence, but in their confusion and disorientation, they mistakenly believe that hurting you, extinguishing your light, will somehow ease their discomfort. As if bringing someone else down could lift them up, as if dimming another's brightness could soothe the darkness within them. But my child, that is merely an illusion, a trap of ignorance that the enemy has quietly planted in their minds. And I want you to understand this: the wounds they inflict do not come from strength, but from unhealed weakness. They do not truly hate you. They are simply reacting to the sacred presence you carry, a presence they once longed for, but now no longer dare to face. So do not let their actions become the standard by which you measure your worth. Do not let the bitterness in their eyes make you question your value. Do not allow their words to pierce the root of the security I have built within you. They do not attack you because you deserve contempt. They attack because you reflect something they once dreamed of. And I say this to you not so you would feel superior, but so that you may see everything through the lens of mercy. Mercy for souls who are thirsting for life, yet seeking it through broken paths. I know this is not easy. I know there are moments you feel like a target for no apparent reason. The whispers behind your back, the acts hidden behind polite smiles, the scrutinizing glances. They are like countless arrows piercing through the armor of strength you've tried so hard to maintain. But remember, you are not fighting alone. I am standing right beside you. I am the one who has endured rejection, betrayal, and misunderstanding, and I fully understand everything you are bearing. I am not distant from your pain. I am not indifferent to those moments when you silently hold back tears. I am gathering every drop of those tears like precious morning dew, and I am weaving them into a robe of glory for you to wear on the day I reveal my righteousness. And you must remember this with absolute clarity. The people who hurt you are not the true enemy. The real enemy is the spiritual blindness that has clouded their sight. The real enemy is the hunger of their soul that they do not know how to satisfy. And only I, yes, only I, can touch the deepest part of their hearts to soothe that thirst. No insult they hurl can bring them peace. No hurtful action can heal what is broken inside them. For unhealed insecurity will continue to wound not only themselves, but also those around them. But love that comes from me, the love you are learning to embody and express, is the only remedy that can rescue their souls from the abyss of comparison, jealousy, and isolation. Therefore, when you are met with suspicious eyes, lift your gaze upward. When you are pierced by words veiled in politeness, anchor your thoughts in me, the one who never changes. When those who once called you friend turn their backs on you, let not your heart close off, but instead allow me to open it wider, not for people, but for me to fill with transcendent love. Because in the end, what defines you will not be how others treated you, but how you responded to it in spiritual maturity. One day, when the fog of doubt is lifted, when the darkness within their hearts is cleared away by my light, they will look back at you and realize, I should have listened. I should have learned from the steadfastness and peace that person carried. And when that day comes, not only will I be glorified, but you will be called a mature child in my kingdom, not because you triumph over them, but because you conquered yourself. So keep walking, my beloved. Do not wait for them to change in order for your heart to be at rest. Let your peace come from me, the one who is not shaken by the ways of man. And as you live in this way, you become a refuge for others, a stream of refreshment for withered souls, and above all, a living testimony that true love can overcome even the most venomous arrows, reviving life in a land scorched by jealousy and confusion. I know that there are moments when your heart feels troubled and anxious. I know you have lain awake at night wondering, what are they secretly plotting? What will I do if everything turns against me? But today, I want you to release that burden. I did not create you to live in a constant state of fear over what others might do behind your back. You were not made to waste your divine strength on the games of darkness. You do not need to exhaust your mind trying to decipher every scheme or hidden meaning. That is not the battle I've called you to fight. And it is certainly not the place I want your soul to dwell. You do not need to use your words to defend yourself, nor do you need to brace against every invisible assault, because I, the one who sees to the very root of every concealed intention, am your steadfast refuge. I not only protect you from evil, I go before you, examining every path and destroying every snare before you even step there. You may not see all that the enemy is planning, but you can choose to trust in me, the one who never slumbers, who is never caught off guard, and who never fails. I know every step you take, and every step of those who attempt to hinder you. No plan of man can exceed my power. Therefore, instead of letting your heart be swept away by the whirlwind of suspicion and hypervigilance, step toward me, the place of true rest. You don't need to control every outcome. You only need to let me lead. Come near to me, not in panic, but with steadfast trust that I am big enough to protect you from every scheme, no matter how clever it may seem. Let me be your shield, where your soul is perfectly safe. Not because the world has stopped shaking, but because you are covered by the faithfulness of the one who never changes. And in that nearness I will speak, not through thunderous declarations, but through gentle whispers within you. Whispers that carry my power and my truth. I will tell you when to speak, not to retaliate, but to declare what is right. I will show you when to stay silent, not out of fear, but because wisdom requires patience. There are moments when silence is the strongest voice. There are moments when taking a step back is not defeat, but the positioning for a greater unveiling that I have already ordained. You will not be lost in the maze of cryptic words or conflicting glances. I will grant you spiritual discernment, a sharp sensitivity not everyone possesses. You will be able to tell what is true from what is false, when I am calling you to move forward, and when I am telling you to remain still. This discernment does not come from outward observation, but from learning to listen to me daily. When you learn to pause in stillness and wait for my voice, You will not be swept away by emotional storms or outward pressure. And it is there, in that powerful quiet, that true victory is born. Not in anxious haste, but in holy calm. My beloved child, those who scheme against you may be skilled at hiding, but I am greater in revealing the truth. What is whispered in secret, I will bring into the light. What they conspire in darkness, I can cause to echo in broad daylight. And when I move, no one can stop me. The issue is not whether you can thwart their plans, but whether you choose to trust in my protection. If you continue to be absorbed in trying to decipher others, you will drain the energy meant for walking in the light. If you try to save yourself, you will forfeit the peace that only comes from knowing you are held by the Almighty. Replace your worry with prayer. Trade your anxious watchfulness for wholehearted surrender. You don't need to know everything to be safe. You only need to know me. Stay close to me. That is the place where every opposing hand dissolves, every slanderous word falls silent, and every scheme of the enemy crumbles from within. Nothing they do escapes my eyes. Nothing you endure is beyond my understanding, and no weapon formed against you will prosper as long as you remain under my covering. So, my child, don't use your heart to resist. Use your faith to stand firm. Don't make the wisdom of the world your compass. Let my voice be your sole guide, and never forget this. What I build within you is stronger than anything man could destroy. A soul led by me is a fortress that cannot be shaken. Though storms may rise and accusations may swell, you will remain standing, for you do not stand alone. You stand in the presence of the one who has already won, even before the battle begins, my precious one. It is my presence within you that has created something not easily understood by others. The divine fragrance you carry, the aroma of life, of renewal, of the living Christ, is of inestimable worth. It is the undeniable mark of the transformation I have done in your soul. But not everyone welcomes that fragrance with gratitude or joy. For some, it signals new life, a beam of light shining into dark corners they long to escape. But for others, that very fragrance unsettles them. It forces them to face the parts of their past they've tried to bury. It reminds them that something in their life has decayed, has withered, has become unsustainable. And rather than return to me for healing, they resist. They are not resisting you, they are resisting the truth. It is not you who causes their pain, but the light within you that illuminates what they would rather keep hidden. Yet, my dear child, do not let their reactions become a burden that wears down your soul. Do not let their resistance sow doubt within your own heart. Do not let their lack of love obscure the loving nature I have cultivated in you. Keep your heart tender, but do not let it carry what it was never meant to bear. All those heavy feelings, the unnamed worries, the unanswered questions, the quiet insecurities, bring them all to me. Let me carry them. Let me draw that entire weight into the boundless embrace of my love. For you were never called to live in constant vigilance, in confusion, or in tension caused by others' inability to understand you. You were called to live in peace, in trust, and in a love that cannot be shaken. You don't have to walk through every challenge on your own. You are not alone. I am closer than your very breath. And not only am I near, I have sent my angels to surround you, to pitch a tent of protection over you day and night. Even though your physical eyes cannot see it, that does not diminish the reality of what is unfolding in the spiritual realm. In those moments when your heart feels heavy, when the world seems fast asleep while you lie restless through the night, my angels are stationed at your doorpost. They do not take their eyes off you for even a second. They stand guard, silent yet mighty, watching over every entry point, shielding you from what you do not even know, deflecting every invisible arrow the enemy has launched against you. When you leave home in the morning, they go before you, clearing the way and warning of hidden snares. And when you return at the end of a long day, they wait at the gate, welcoming you with a covering unseen by human eyes. I have given them an assignment, not to surveil you, but to serve you. They are sent as protectors, as helpers, as those who lift you when you grow weary. If you stumble, they catch you. If you stray, they gently lead you back. They do not prevent trials from coming, but they ensure the trials do not crush you. They do not erase the storm, but they guard your soul with peace in the midst of it. You might ask, why do you love me this much? The answer lies in my very presence in your life. You are the one I chose, the one I touched, the one I called out of darkness into light. And I never call someone without protecting them. I never send someone without equipping them. I never place anyone into battle without surrounding them with the host of heaven. That is why you do not need to fight in your own strength. This battle belongs to me. The glory is mine. The victory is from my hand. So walk on, not in fear, but in faith. Do not look around hoping to find security in people. Lift your eyes to me, the one who not only knows all things, but orchestrates everything for your good. Remember, the protection I provide is not based on your understanding, but on my unchanging faithfulness. When you trust in me, you will not only witness my covering, you will feel it with every step you take, in every breath you draw, in every choice you make, in every day you live. My beloved, the fragrance I've placed within you will continue to spread, not because you strive, but because the Holy Spirit lives in you. Some will be awakened by that fragrance, some will be challenged, some will resist. But keep moving forward. Keep living with integrity. Keep loving. Keep being faithful. And leave the rest to me. For I, the Lord Jehovah, am your keeper, and I do not slumber. Day and night, heaven and earth, battlefield and sanctuary, I remain the one who never departs from your side, and under my covering nothing can overcome you, so long as you remain within my embrace. You may think that the people plotting against you are the greatest challenge you face, but I tell you this: there is a deeper, subtler, and far more dangerous battle happening within, and that is the fight to preserve the purity and peace of your own heart. My child, don't just guard your surroundings. Learn to guard your heart, because the true enemy does not merely seek to strike you externally. He is searching for a way in. When others lay traps to hurt you, he quietly sows seeds of doubt. When others speak words meant to tear you down, he whispers that you are worthless. When you're betrayed, he feeds you the lie that no one is worthy of trust. And if you are not watchful, these things will begin to take root, not all at once, but gradually, until one day, you no longer recognize how much you've changed. Bitterness never arrives like a storm. It seeps in like a mist, subtly clinging to the hidden corners of the soul. Fear never knocks loudly. It drips like a slow leak into the mind during sleepless nights. And weariness, anger, and all the burdens you carry rarely strike you down all at once. They quietly erode your joy, wear away your reverence, until your spirit feels drained and you don't even know why. So I say to you, guard your heart. Guard it with all diligence, for from it flows the wellspring of life. If that stream becomes polluted, everything else within you will begin to turn dark. Do not let what others say, what they do, or what they fail to do become the excuse for you to lose your peace. Do not allow someone else to control your emotions so deeply that they can ruin your day or even an entire season of your life through a single attitude. You were not created to react the way the world has taught you, but to live as one who bears my image, full of grace, yet full of discernment, forgiving, but not compromising with sin, gentle, but not fragile, steadfast, but not closed off, and above all, keep your eyes fixed on me. When you focus on those who rise against you, your heart will swell with anger. When you focus on your circumstances, your heart will fill with fear. But when you focus on me, your heart will overflow with hope. I am not only your refuge, I am the lamp that lights your path. When your eyes are set on me, you will see truth through the haze of lies. When your gaze turns toward me, you will receive a peace that the world cannot give and cannot steal. This peace is not born from everything going smoothly, but from knowing with certainty who holds your destiny. Do not let your mind be consumed by the what-ifs. What if they hadn't betrayed you? What if they had stayed? What if you had done things differently? These thoughts cannot change the past, but they can rob you of the future if you let them occupy your soul. Imagined scenarios, future disasters that haven't come, exaggerated threats from the enemy. All are tactics to confuse you, to break your focus, to make you halt in fear of things that have not even happened. I am here, right now, to remind you that your future is not in the hands of others. It is not bound by secret schemes, nor is it dictated by unstable conditions. Your future is secured in my hands. The very hands that set the stars in place are the same hands now holding your heart. I do not love you less just because you are going through hardship. In fact, it is in the midst of hardship that I am calling you into deeper growth, stronger, steadier, more unshakable than ever before. And beloved, in these days when everything seems misaligned, I urge you to learn a precious lesson that few seek. Learn the art of stillness before me. Not the silence of one who gives up, but the stillness of a soul anchored in trust. Like a boat on the ocean that remains unmoved, not because there are no waves, but because it is tied to an anchor. I am your anchor. And when you learn to tether your heart to me, you will not be swept away, no matter how fierce the storm becomes. Let your heart become a sanctuary, where my presence dwells. Do not let it become a battleground of wounded emotions. Watch over it, guard it, stay alert, and when you feel your heart beginning to sway, come to me. I will renew you. I will wash away the dust of bitterness. I will cleanse the twisted thoughts. I will pour into you a new stream of living water, so that you may keep walking, not as one overwhelmed by fear, but as a warrior clothed in peace, even in a world that trembles. My beloved child, let your soul find comfort in an unchanging truth. You are never abandoned. Even when your eyes cannot see and your hands cannot touch, I am still there, with you, in every moment, every breath, every step you take that feels lonely. You are not alone in this journey, and you are certainly not lacking my protection. A divine shield surrounds you, not walls of stone, but an invisible barrier, woven with my power, my love, and my eternal faithfulness. And while you are walking through trials that seem beyond your strength, I am using these very circumstances to shape you, not to break you down, but to mature your character and strengthen your faith. This is not merely a season of endurance, it is a season of preparation, a sacred phase in which I am molding every part of you in anticipation of the greater things awaiting ahead. I am laying a foundation in you with perseverance, not a forced endurance, but a perseverance rooted in steadfast trust. I am teaching you patience, not a passive kind, but one that waits with hopeful expectation. I am pouring into you wisdom, not the wisdom of this world, but a divine understanding that only flows through intimate communion with me. Above all, I am establishing within you a spiritual authority, an authority that does not come from titles, positions, or human strength, but one that is birthed from a life fully led by the Holy Spirit. You are not being trained amidst trumpets or dazzling lights. You are being formed in the quiet places, places where no one sees, where there are no applauses, no recognition, only me. Yet it is in those very places that you are learning something more precious than all outward achievements. You are learning to recognize my voice amidst the noise of the world. You are learning to see clearly with your eyes closed, for your spiritual vision is being awakened. You are learning to be still in the midst of storms, for your heart is beginning to beat in rhythm with heaven's peace. You are learning to live without dependence on human affirmation, for you are beginning to draw life from the deep assurance that comes from me alone. And I know there are times you feel as though you're walking on a razor's edge, exhausted from battles, yearning for peace. There are moments when you pray, and it seems as if no one answers. Long days where the silence makes you wonder, are you really listening? But it is in those very days that I am doing my deepest work, not on the outside, but within you. You may not see it, but I am uprooting long-entrenched fears. You may not feel it, but I am healing the fractures that once made you tremble. You may not hear it, but I am whispering to your soul things that surpass what your mind could ever understand. You are learning a priceless lesson, that while human help is valuable, it is not your source of life. That while the presence of others is a gift, it cannot substitute mine. And that even if all the places where you once placed your hope were to collapse, there remains one who never changes. It is I, your unshakable stronghold. You are learning to walk not because you see the light, but because you believe the light is still there, even when darkness surrounds you. That is true faith. Faith that does not depend on emotion, but rests on the inner certainty that I am the one who holds your outcome, and that outcome is good. And let me remind you of this. The peace I give you is not like the kind the world defines. It does not depend on whether the sea is calm or the storm is past. My peace is a fortress, unshakable, steadfast, unwavering amid all turmoil. It is not disturbed by false words. It is not swayed by misunderstanding. It does not vanish when others turn their backs, because this peace flows from me, the one who once spoke calm to the raging storm on the Sea of Galilee, and who now speaks calm into your heart. When your soul feels unsettled, enter that sacred refuge. Let my peace become the weapon you carry, not to run from reality, but to face it, not to escape, but to stand firm and walk through it with steady feet. You are not merely surviving, you are being prepared for something far greater, and though the process may hurt, may seem slow, and some days feel stagnant, still believe that I am not stepping back. I am completing a holy work in you, a masterpiece that will cause all of heaven to rejoice when it is finished. So do not focus on what has not yet happened. Fix your eyes on the one who began this good work and will certainly bring it to completion. Do not panic over delays, for I am never late. Do not despair over lack of visible results, for I have not stopped moving. My beloved, in the quiet but unceasing current of time, there will come a day when all things hidden will be brought to light, and every intention of the heart will be revealed. There will be moments when those who once pursued you, who tried to harm you with words, actions, or silent schemes, will fall into the very traps they set, not because you sought revenge, nor because you cursed them, but because the path they chose, the path of deceit, envy, and manipulation, is one that leads to their own downfall. Wickedness, when not repented of and abandoned, ultimately turns back to destroy its maker. Yet even then, child, guard your heart. Do not let the fall of another become your source of delight. Do not allow their pain to make you feel elevated. For I do not delight in hearts that gloat over the suffering of others. I search for those who weep with me, for souls still wandering in darkness. When retribution comes to those who made you weep, your trial will not be in your weakness, but in the sincerity of your heart. Will you have enough mercy to intercede for them? Will you still possess gentleness enough to refrain from rejoicing at their consequences? I have called you to live differently, to carry a heart not hardened by wounds, not frozen by betrayal, not poisoned by rejection. I have called you to remember that you too were once lost, once broken, once standing on the edge of ruin, and it was I, not anyone else, who reached out to pull you back. You were not saved because you were deserving, but because I had compassion. You are not kept because you are strong, but because I protect you. So today, if someone falls, if someone faces the consequences of their misguided choices, let your heart release prayers instead of accusations. Let your tears fall not for judgment, but for repentance. You will see those who once spoke boldly against you, those who mocked my presence within you, will one day come to the end of themselves, realizing a hollowness that nothing else can fill. And when they stand at the crossroads of despair, I will still be there, waiting. For my heart never shuts its doors to a soul that returns. I do not rejoice in the destruction of the wicked. I do not find pleasure in anyone's downfall. I do not seek ruin. I seek repentance. I long for each one, every soul, every heart to turn back and say, Lord, have mercy on me. And if they do, if they lay down their weapons, if they let go of their stubborn ways, if they humble themselves, then I, the one who forgave you, will also forgive them. And perhaps you will be the one I use to lead them home, not through harsh rebuke, but through patience and genuine love. Perhaps the forgiveness you choose today will become the very cord that pulls a soul out of darkness. Perhaps your quiet prayers will become seeds that sprout in their heart on a day no one expects. Do not underestimate kindness. Do not overlook the power of mercy. You are being trained by me not only to live a holy life, but also to reflect my heart. A heart full of mercy, yet unyielding to sin. A love that is not blind, but overflowing with forgiveness. Let your heart remain tender, even when the world grows hard. Let compassion still flow from within you, even when it has once been crushed. Let that spiritual gentleness become the sharpest weapon in the battle I have placed you in amid this world. My beloved, do not be afraid if what you do for me is not immediately understood. Do not wait for praise from those who once condemned you. Do not long for others to change just so your heart can rest. Let your heart find peace, even in the middle of chaos. For I, the Lord of stillness and righteousness, am at work. And when the appointed time comes, you will see that what you sowed in tears will spring forth in joy. What you endured in silence will become light to guide others on their path. Therefore, my child, walk in humility, stand firm in kindness, be strong in mercy. For these are the signs that you are becoming like me, not merely through your words, but through every reaction, every attitude, every small act that carries the breath of heaven. And I, the one who began the good work in you, will not stop until I see you fully reflecting my image in every step you take. My precious one, in the midst of the dark days you are walking through, days when uncertainty spreads like a toxic cloud, when hearts grow cold, when apathy replaces compassion, disorder drowns out peace, and sighs echo further than laughter, I see you. I see you striving to stand, to hold on to the light in a world thick with shadows, to choose kindness while others grow distant, to keep believing and loving even when people withdraw and close off. You are living in a time when the old moral foundations are being shaken, when sacred values are being questioned and dissected. Darkness no longer hides. It walks boldly into places once filled with light, sowing confusion like a wild wind that sweeps away everything not rooted deeply in truth. But in the midst of all this chaos, I, the Lord your God, am still calling. I am not calling you to run with fear. I am not calling you to blend into the noise of this world. I am not calling you to retreat, to hide, or to collapse. I am inviting you to come closer, deeper, truer, to enter the sacred shelter, where it is just you and me. You cannot control the world, but you can choose where your soul finds refuge, and that place is the secret dwelling of prayer. My beloved, prayer is not something I require of you as a burdensome duty, nor is it an empty habit I desire you to repeat to please me. Prayer in my heart is the breath of life. It is the heartbeat of a soul that truly connects. It is the bridge that carries you out of the chaos of the world and into supernatural rest. I long for you to pray not because I do not know, but because I want you to step into my presence so that you may be healed, restored, illuminated, and strengthened. I invite you to draw near not because I am lacking, but because I know you need a place to be refilled, a place to pour out, a place to be renewed day by day. And do not pray only for yourself, my child. Let your heart be enlarged. Let my love flow through you, so that your prayers may extend beyond your own needs and reach those whom I have placed beside you. Remember your family. Whether they are near or distant, whether they understand you or not, Intercede for each friend, for every companion who has walked a season with you, even for those who have gone their own way. Lift up your community, the place where you live, where you work, where you belong, and pray for your nation. For breakthrough never comes through idle chatter, but through bent knees and hearts broken before me. I am searching for those who not only know how to live, but know how to rise in the darkness and cry out. I am looking for those who don't merely speak of hope, but who dare to pray even in despair, that the flame might be reignited. I am calling forth souls who are willing to set aside their crowded schedules and make room for me, to intervene in the story of their families, their cities, and their countries. And if you respond, if you are willing to live a life of prayer, not out of duty, but because you understand its eternal significance, then you will see what others do not. You will hear what the natural ear cannot perceive. You will walk with a quiet strength that cannot be shaken, a strength born of living communion with me. Perhaps you think your prayers are too small, too weak to make a difference. But oh, beloved, every whisper spoken in secret, even if no one hears, even if no one knows, resounds in the heavens. Every tear that falls as you intercede for others is gathered by me like precious pearls. No prayer is ever forgotten. No cry is ever wasted. Even the petitions you've long since forgotten, I am still holding, waiting to answer them in the perfect time. For prayer never fades. It is etched into the memory of heaven, and it clears the way for miracles you've never dared to imagine. So do not miss the invitation to be the one who stands in the gap. Don't wait for things to change before you begin to pray. Start praying so that change can come. I do not require eloquence from you. I ask only for a heart that is sincere, surrendered, tender, and full of trust. Let every morning begin with a conversation with me. Let every night close with a breath of surrender, and throughout the day, keep your spirit attuned, so that my spirit may whisper what is needed at just the right time. My beloved, the world is shaking, but if you live a life of prayer, your soul will not be swayed. The world is losing its way, but if you stay close to me, you will become a guidepost for others. The world is dry and cracked, but if you dwell in the stream of intercession, you will be the refreshing water that soaks into the broken soil of souls around you. My heart, God bless you, precious one. What I long for you to engrave deep within your heart today is this: every prayer you utter, whether bold with faith or trembling with sobs, reaches me. I listen with care, with compassion, and with deep love. Never believe that your cries in the night vanish into emptiness, or that the tears that silently trace your cheeks fall without meaning. No, my dear one, in the unseen realm, in the world your eyes have yet to fully behold, each whisper of yours rises like a sacred melody before my throne, like sweet incense swirling upward, blending your faithfulness with my eternal power, forging a bond that nothing can sever. Every prayer you offer, whether great or small, whether fervent or barely a whisper, whether filled with hope or merely a groan of exhaustion, never falls into nothingness. I receive each one, preserve them, and treasure them as holy offerings. Every word that flows from a sincere heart is kept in golden bowls placed before my throne, where nothing can corrupt them, where time cannot fade them, and where every petition remains ever alive. These golden bowls are not merely symbolic. They are heavenly proof of this unchanging truth. I never forget those who seek me with honest hearts. I do not only hear, I do not only see, I incline myself toward you each time you call. Picture that. The Creator of all things, the one who governs the entire universe, bending low to listen to your trembling voice. Not because I am weak, but because I love you deeply. Not because I am compelled, but because I long for communion with your soul. When you call to me, I draw near. When you sigh, I respond. When you plead, I move. Sometimes in ways that are visible, and sometimes in quiet secrecy, but never without action. I know there are times when your heart grows weary from waiting, days when it feels as if your prayers hang in the sky, suspended between heaven and earth, reaching neither. But my beloved, remember this. I do not measure time as man does. I do not respond on the hurried schedules of the world, but I am always on time, according to the eternal calendar. There are moments when I act instantly. I heal, I intervene, I open doors, yet there are also times when I move gradually, like a seed sprouting beneath deep soil, like light breaking through the thickest night. I am not delaying, I am patient, for I am doing far more than you perceive, not just answering, but shaping, refining, preparing, and shielding. And do you know this? Some miracles I perform not for you to see immediately, but so that one day, as you look back, you will gasp in awe and declare, Lord, you were already working from the very moment I began to pray. The doors I closed were answers too. The dreams that remain unfulfilled are part of my preparation. I am writing a story in which every one of your prayers becomes a sacred ink stroke, connecting your cries with a glorious ending. Do not stop praying simply because you have not seen results. Do not fall silent simply because you are tired. Keep praying, not because you see, but because you believe. Keep crying out, not because everything is clear, but because you know I hold everything in my hands. Keep drawing near to me, each day, each hour, each time your heart is in turmoil, or even when it feels empty, for the moment you come, I will be there. The moment you speak, I will incline my ear. And the moment you surrender, I will act in ways more beautiful than anything you could ask or imagine. I do not work halfway. I do not make empty promises. What I have begun, I will complete. The prayers you whispered years ago, those uttered in the dark nights when you barely dared to hope, are still alive, still preserved by me, still moving behind the scenes as I prepare for their appointed unveiling. And when that moment comes, it will be as radiant as the morning light. Not as coincidence, but as undeniable proof that the Lord heard. He did not turn away. So, my beloved, do not despise the hidden hours. Do not assume that a prayer must be followed by immediate miracles to be effective. I am working, bit by bit, step by step, layer by layer. There are things I am shifting within your own heart. There are changes I am making in the world around you. And there are future alignments I am orchestrating to match each of your petitions. Do not fear to pray bold prayers. Do not forget to offer the small ones. Each one, every one, is precious in my eyes. And be at peace, for not a single tear you have shed, not a groan you have ever offered up, not even a whispered cry in the night has been overlooked by me. I have heard them all. I am still listening. And I will continue to act, not because you demand it, but because I love you with an everlasting love. And I delight in seeing that you trust me enough to keep praying, and keep surrendering, and keep waiting, my beloved child. In the days when you walk through a world full of storms, I want you to engrave this truth deep into your soul. No matter how many forces are secretly working against you, no matter how thick the darkness seems to be spreading all around, there remains an unshakable truth. You belong to me, and because you belong to me, no weapon, however skillfully forged, however harmless it may appear, can defeat you. No scheme of darkness can break through the hedge of protection I have established around you. No attack, whether it comes through words, through actions, or through unseen spiritual realms, can bypass my authority to harm you. My child, I know there are moments when you feel as though you're being attacked from every side. Sometimes it's not a fierce blow, but rather tiny needles. Criticisms, misunderstandings, whispers behind your back, contemptuous glances. And slowly those small things can make your heart bleed. But I speak to you today. Take heart. No sword, no accusation, no matter how sharp, can pierce the armor of righteousness I have clothed you in. It is I who have dressed you in my righteousness. It is I who placed you in a position no one can take from you. And it is I who will plead your cause when the world turns to condemn you. When you are slandered, belittled, or misunderstood, you don't need to respond in the flesh. You don't need to argue, defend, or retaliate. You only need to stand firm in the truth that you have been justified by the blood of the Lamb. And when the time is right, I myself will bring everything into the light. I will expose every lying tongue, and I will restore your honor in a way that no one can deny. I will not allow your righteousness to be buried, for it is not a righteousness earned by your own effort, but a righteousness that flows from my throne, where no slander, no scheme can reach. Maybe you have wept because of betrayal. Maybe you have withdrawn silently when no one stepped forward to defend you. But know this: in every single moment, I was standing there, not only seeing but remembering, not only knowing but moving. There are times when I have remained silent, not because I was absent, but because I was allowing time to reveal the truth most clearly. I am letting every false accusation unravel itself. I am allowing your faithfulness to speak louder than any defense. And in time, it will be you who disproves every accusation, not with a harsh tone, but with a life that cannot be denied. The light within you will speak for itself. The faith you carry will speak for itself. The fruit I produce in your life will stand as living proof that no one can refute. Understand this, my child. The enemy cannot take what I have given. He may try to make you doubt who you are, but he cannot change your true identity. He may stir up opinions and create noise around you, but he cannot stop the plans I have written over your life. Every weapon formed against you, whether spiritual tactics, hidden jealousy, or venomous words, will fail. For the word I have spoken never returns void. When I say that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, it is not a fleeting reassurance. It is a decree from the throne of heaven, where every one of my plans is fulfilled without fail. And what's even more beautiful is this: your inheritance is not merely protection, it is authority. You are not only preserved from attacks, you are entrusted with power to face them. to drive them back, to declare spiritual victory. You are not a victim. You are an heir. You do not live in fear of being wounded. You live in the assurance from heaven that all that belongs to me also belongs to you, and that reward is not granted because of your perfection, but because of my faithfulness. Remember this every time you feel weighed down. You are not merely my servant. You bear my name. And because you bear my name, your honor is intertwined with mine. My name cannot be defiled, and I will cause your name to shine like the morning dawn. You do not need to prove yourself right. You only need to continue living righteously. True righteousness does not need to shout. It is affirmed through perseverance, through an unwavering walk, and through a peace-gilled presence that cannot be shaken, even in the midst of battle. But when the clouds of perplexity fell, my beloved, rest in the truth that I am defending you. And no one defends better than I do. No one advocates more profoundly than I. No one silences the accusing tongue more completely than I. I am the one who speaks the final word, and my word always stands firm. When you keep your heart free from bitterness, from envy, from the burden of self-defense, you are making room for me to step in and protect you in ways you could never do on your own. So lift your head high, walk in peace. Let your heart rest in the promise that no weapon, no matter how cleverly disguised, shall prosper against you, for you are mine. For your inheritance is divine covering, and for your righteousness, from beginning to end, is a gift that comes from me, the ever-living one. And because your righteousness comes from me, no force in existence can erase your name from what I have established in the heavenly realm. No earthly system has the authority to define your worth, for your value is not determined by human hands. It rests in the hands of the one who formed you with a sacred purpose before the foundation of the world. You are not a product of circumstance. You are a masterpiece of grace. You are not the result of a mistake, but the culmination of my eternal plan. And therefore, every day you live, every step you take, every word you speak under the guidance of the Holy Spirit carries eternal weight, speaks with authority in the spiritual realm, and makes a greater impact than you can imagine. Never forget, you are living in a time when darkness no longer hides. It moves openly. The enemy knows his time is short, so he seeks to stir confusion, to intimidate, to isolate, and to weary those I have chosen. But, my child, it is precisely in this season that I am positioning my people as gatekeepers, those who stand firm on the wall, unmoved by the opposing winds, unwavering even when misunderstood, relentless in love, even when rejected. You are one of them. You are not called to live as the masses do, but to live as salt in the blandness, as light in the shadows. And when you walk in the righteousness I have given you, you become a quiet yet powerful rebuke to the darkness unfolding around you. But precisely because of that, the enemy will try to wear you down. He will make you feel as if righteousness yields no result. He will whisper that faithfulness is futile. He will magnify every attack so that you begin to doubt yourself. But my child, remember this. Victory does not lie in being recognized by others, but in being approved by me. The reward does not come from fleeting applause, but from the eternal "well done" that I will speak when you finish your race. Do not yield to slander. Do not respond in the way the world teaches. Every time you want to speak out in defense, pause and ask me. Every time you feel compelled to prove the truth, remember that I am the one who reveals all things at the appointed time. Let your silence become a powerful testimony that you do not need to defend yourself because you are already defended by the one who never fails. And my child, the righteousness I give you is not merely a cloak to cover your past. It is a weapon for daily victory. When you live in righteousness, your words carry authority. When you pray from a heart unclouded by sin, that prayer reaches my throne swiftly. When you love unconditionally, you are destroying the works of the devil. When you forgive those who have wronged you, you are pushing back an entire army of darkness waiting to devour. Righteousness is not an abstract concept. It is a tangible way of life that I am shaping within you, day by day, season by season, step by step. I know there are moments when you want to collapse, days when injustice crashes in like a flood and you feel like giving up, moments when you sigh deeply and wonder, does living right still matter? But it is in those very moments that I am closer than ever. I do not only wipe your tears, I record every drop. I do not merely comfort you, I breathe new strength into you so you may keep going. I do not just remind you that you are not alone. I send angels to surround you. I stir intercessors to stand in the gap for you. And I prepare a new season where your faithfulness will bear abundant fruit. So do not let accusations steal the holiness of your response. Do not let delay make you question my grace. And do not let the gaze of the world cause you to forget the loving gaze of mine. The eyes that have never looked away. The eyes that are always pleased, always affirming that you belong to me. I am the one who began this work in you, and I do not abandon halfway. I am faithful, and I will cause your righteousness to shine like the dawn, your justice to blaze like the noonday sun. Keep walking, my beloved. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove anything. Just walk in the peace of one who knows this truth. Though thousands of weapons may rise, though 10,000 deceitful tongues may roar, in the end, not a single one will succeed against you, for you bear the mark of the Almighty, and that is eternal. My beloved, do not let another's light make you question the path I am leading you on. Every soul I create has a sacred timeline written before the foundation of the world. Not a single heartbeat of yours falls into the void. Not one of your steps is lost in the crowd. I do not write your story by someone else's measure, nor do I weigh your accomplishments by the fleeting standards this world applauds. The journey you are walking is not a competition. It is an invitation to go deeper into my good and perfect will, where there is no comparison, no rush, only the gentle leading of a loving Father. Do not look to the left or to the right. Do not let the success of others make you feel delayed or lacking. Remember this: I do not assign the same seasons to everyone. Others may be in their harvest season, while you are still being planted by me. They may be receiving fruit, while you are growing deeper roots. But is it not the deep roots that keep the tree standing firm when the storm comes? Is it not this hidden season that will protect your soul when the light begins to shine upon your life? You may think you're being delayed, overlooked, but know I am still at work, silently yet surely. It is in the quiet that I shape you. It is in the days that seem unchanged that I am laying a solid foundation for something far greater than you can imagine. I am never in a hurry, but I am never idle. My plans never miss their time, and when I speak a word, heaven and earth move to bring it to pass. So do not fear delay. Trust in the perfection of the time I have chosen. In truth, many times you believe you're waiting on me to make a way, but you don't realize that I have been patiently waiting on you. I'm waiting for you to pause in your confusion and let go of what you are still trying to control. I see you clinging to your own expectations, to dreams shaped by human patterns, to plans you believe will earn you love or recognition. But you don't see that it is precisely those things that are standing in the way of your full entry into my divine plan. I am waiting for you to open your hands, not because I want to take something away, but because I long to place something better, deeper, and more enduring into them. I am waiting for you to let me be your guide, not just in theory, but in the everyday reality of your life. I am waiting for you to stop striving in your own strength and begin to rest in grace. I never meant for you to carry your burdens alone. From the moment you were formed, I have always been the one who bears the yoke with you. Every tear, every sigh, every sleepless night, I have seen them all, but you were never meant to carry everything. I did not create you to live in anxiety, but to live in trust, not to hunch beneath invisible weights, but to learn how to surrender them to me, the one who holds all things. Bring that burden to me, not just with words, but with genuine surrender. Give me not only the things that feel too heavy, but also the things you're still clinging to. The plans, the expectations, even the fears you've never spoken. Let me hold them. I am not distant. I am not cold. I am the one who sits beside you through the long night and walks with you through each dawn. And I have never left. You have never been abandoned. When you stop, when you take a deep breath and whisper, "Lord, I can't do this alone anymore," that is not a moment of failure. It is the moment you step into true victory. Because in your very weakness, my power is made perfect. While you pause, I step forward. While you fall silent, I speak. In your surrender, you are lifted up. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to know this: you are being loved with a love that has no conditions, and that love does not require you to be strong all the time. It does not demand that you always be right. It does not push you to constantly accomplish something grand. That love simply calls you, "Come close, rest, and trust. Let me do my part. Let me tend to your soul, mend the broken places, and lift you up with my own hands. Because when you release the burden, I will carry you. When you cease striving, my grace will begin to move, and you will see, not with your intellect, but with your spirit, that I am the faithful one, the one who is never late, and the one who always knows exactly what you need at precisely the right time. So, my child, rest. Do not strive anymore. I am waiting for you, not to accuse, but to embrace, not to condemn, but to restore, not to demand, but to give. And when you step out of comparison, when you lay down burdens that were never yours to carry, when you let go of the labels others have placed on you, you will find yourself lighter, clearer, and more ready for the very thing I prepared for you before the foundation of the world. Your journey is not delayed. You are not late. You are exactly where you're meant to be, at the exact time you need to be. And I am right here with you. Now lift up your honest prayer to me and say these words. I put my trust in you, my unshakable fortress. When all around me may shift and tremble, you remain the one who never changes. Cover me with the wings of your love in every moment I live. May my spirit always be anchored in your truth, and may every heartbeat resound with praise to your name. Though darkness may swirl around me, I choose to lift my eyes to you, the one who sustains, protects, and never leaves me. Lord, as I rise each day, open my soul to receive the fresh mercy you pour out. Give me eyes that recognize miracles in the ordinary, and lips that ceaselessly give thanks for breath, for light, for the gift of living this life to bring you glory. May I never take the small things for granted, because every moment of existence is a living testimony to your relentless faithfulness. Lord, teach me how to stand firm when the things I love are put to the test. Protect the ones I hold dear from every hidden harm and every scheme conceived in darkness. Station your angels at the gates of their lives, warring on their behalf, shielding them from evil. Even when I cannot be there in person, I trust that your mighty hand watches over them, with every breath, every step, and every long night. Lord, clothe my family in the armor of heaven. Shield them from the flaming arrows of the enemy with the shield of faith. Crown them with the helmet of salvation, so that every thought may be illuminated by your truth. Though the spiritual battle may rage in silence, I know you are the mighty commander, the one who has already won. Keep them walking in the light of that victory each day, unmoved by what their eyes may see. Lord, guard the minds of those I love. Let not worry, doubt, or bitterness take root in their hearts. Grant them thoughts that are renewed daily through your word, and let your love dissolve every lurking shadow. May their hearts become fertile ground where your promises are sown and bear abundant fruit. Protect them from every emotional snare and lead them into the safety of your rest. Lord, guide their steps through life with the light of your countenance. When they go astray, speak one word and bring them home. When they stand at a crossroads, make the path of righteousness unmistakably clear. Do not let them chase after the noise of the world and forget the gentle whisper of the Spirit. Shape their hearts to be ready to respond, and make them love your presence above all else. In every journey, be the lamp to their feet. Lord, may the words they speak be like a pure and refreshing stream, never harming, never sowing doubt, but always filled with grace and life. Shield their lips that every word they utter may be seasoned with the salt of truth, carrying encouragement and healing. Let their speech be an instrument of building up, not tearing down, and when they fall into silence, may your presence resound in their stead, with love, peace, and the power of heaven. Lord, as night falls and anxieties seek to overwhelm their minds, may you become their unshakable refuge of peace. Cover their sleep with the shadow of your wings, and let them rest in the safety of angelic protection. I place each of my loved ones into your hands, hands that never let anyone slip away. Even when darkness hides us from everything else, I know that you neither slumber nor sleep. You are still keeping watch with your everlasting love. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any message full of meaning and life from Him. Together we will grow in faith and live a life fully embraced by His love. Amen.